Conrad, we bow out very narrowly to a fantastic Chelsea team today. The run's sadly over, but I mean, how proud are you after the performance that they put in today and the performances in all the rounds? How proud?
I mean, first and foremost, obviously disappointed that we're out of the competition. Something we've tried to instill in that team in every single game that we've played is belief. Believe that you can win, have the confidence within yourselves that you can get a result. It was the same today, even though obviously we're up against the Chelsea team that the majority of their squad are playing England under 18s, under 19s. Some of those players will be playing in the Premier League in a couple of years, but we still set out with trying to find a way to win, and I think in terms of the actual 90 minutes today we gave a really good account of ourselves. To go in half-time 45 minutes 0-0 was part of our plan to stay in the game, and really proud, and I think that kind of summarises the whole competition to date really. The lads have been exceptional in every single game. We've had to change our way of playing completely today, but it shows the character, the football intelligence of the lads to adapt and kind of do what's being asked of them, even though it's completely different to what we normally work on. But overall, massively proud, the club are proud, and every single one of the players in the changing room in there should be absolutely proud of their achievements.
Understandably, like you said, you changed your game plan today for perhaps the calibre of the team that we're coming up against. Just talk me through that game plan. You know, we went with 3-5 at the back at times, sort of a low block. What was your sort of intention? Did it pan out how you thought it would?
It panned out how we thought it would. I mean, like I said earlier on, it was to stay in the game as long as possible, and for us, if we stay in the game and keep it 0-0, it only takes one goal for us to go and win the game, and we worked a lot on obviously that low block, giving Chelsea a lot of the ball, and we expected them to have loads of quality, loads of pace, loads of ability on the ball, and we've worked for the last 2 weeks on all the basics really, trying to block shots, head clear, run as much as we possibly can, be hard to beat, and in that first 45 minutes I was, as the coach and the manager of that, really proud and really pleasing to go at half time with obviously the game plan still there to be achieved, and obviously a bit disappointed to come into 2 minutes of the second half and, you know, they get a little drop of the shoulder and great strike from 20 yards out, and unfortunately that's the quality that they've got, and we expected that. I mean, in terms of us changing it, normally we're front foot, really aggressive, we'll attack, and that's what we did against Cambridge, Morecambe and against Sunderland, and we were successful, but we felt that today we couldn't really be too naive with it and afford to do that. 2-0 against that side is a respectable scoreline.
You mentioned the belief there that you've instilled into the group. You could see as they were coming off, you know, they're actually disappointed to lose the game. I mean, what's the atmosphere like in the dressing room now?
Disappointed, flat. I mean, we've tried to speak to the lads and kind of put it into perspective of who they've just played against. I mean, that team could potentially go on and win the competition like they've done on the 7 other occasions in, you know, the last 8 or 9 years. So it summarises the lads' the desire to win, how much they want to achieve and how much they want to progress within their careers, to go in the changing room after playing Chelsea and losing 2-0 and be quite inconsolable really with some of them that are in there. But you know, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have that desire and they didn't want to win as much as they do. But I think they'll reflect on it tonight and look back and go, they'd be happy with it, proud of it, I'm sure.
There was some terrific individual performances today. You know, Aaron Lancaster pulling off some fantastic saves. You know, the chairman's here watching, the manager, the chief exec. What does those performances, not just in this game, but in the competition in general, do for their futures as well?
I think in every game we've had good individual performances, but I think the most important thing is the team performance has been consistent in every game. And we've not really had to carry any of the players and obviously try and get them through, or have to obviously make substitutions because lads aren't performing in every game. The lads have been really consistent. I mean, Aaron, you touched on there, that's probably the best save I've ever seen live today. Again, for him, he was absolutely, as you can imagine, over the moon with that save. But yeah, in terms of his performance, really good. Same in all the other games that he's played. And like I say, as a team, we've been consistent throughout. Every single one of those lads has put in an 8 or a 9 every single game, especially the last 4, to get us to where we are now. So if they can continue to do that, I'm looking forward to preparing for the next one and getting back into some league fixtures.
And something that I wanted to touch on finally was that you're sort of in a period now where you'll be bringing new players into the youth system. What does this sort of cup run and everything around it do for that? Does it help you recruit players and bring players in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, I think the experience of this whole preparation for Chelsea, coming down yesterday, pre-match meal, staying over, some of those lads have not experienced that before. It was a real kind of first team feeling about it, and we've brought some of the first years in to experience that, and we feel that are going to do well for us next year when we come into this competition again. But the whole experience obviously helps us massively. You know, we're at the minute looking at players to bring in for our under-17s moving into next season, and when we can go and show how well we're doing as a team and as a football club, and the players that we're producing, obviously it gives them more of an interest in coming to sign for us. And I think the big thing is as well, some of the players that you've seen today will go on to play for our first team, and I think that will continue with the players that we're going to bring through from our first years and from our under-16s as well.
Cheers, Conrad. Well done, mate.